Hey bouquets, how are we blooming today? I'm Enchantress, the Gypsy Lotus of Uniqueness, and this is Enchanted with Glue. So, this series is How the Lotus Bloomed. Here on this series, we are diving deep into my healing journey and things, topics, having conversations about healing and love and just more of my personal journey and things I've gotten through. I just want to inspire everybody to go out and heal. So that's what we're doing. And for the first video, I decided that we should talk about what healing really means, at least for me, and the difference between getting over something, going through something, and growing past things. Okay, so it gets to a point in everybody's lives where you wake up one day and you decide, this ain't what I want. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to keep feeling like I'm wasting tears. I don't want to keep waking up unhappy. I don't want to keep, whatever it may be, I don't want to keep waking up feeling like I don't want to be on earth. I don't want to wake up feeling like I'm unhappy. I don't want to wake up begging and pleading for somebody to give me attention. I don't want to wake up not living my goals and my dreams. I don't want to wake up people pleasing people every day, like something. It gets to a point where everybody has a breaking point, everybody has their limit, and they say, today is the last day I'm putting up with this, today is the last time I'm dealing with this, today is the last time I put my emotions in this predicament, today is the last day I even feel like this. Okay, so what does that mean? So there's plenty of times, oh, I got over it. You hear people say, oh, I got over that, oh, I got over that, oh, I got over that. But you realize, or further down the line, something else may happen to them that is similar to that same situation, and they are going crazy, losing it. They're the most unhinged person you've seen. And it's like, this just like when old boy dumped you 3 months ago, so why is you upset now that this guy is doing the same stuff? But it's like, you didn't actually heal nothing when you got over it. Getting over it to a lot of people naturally is usually just, let me not think about it. Let me act like it didn't happen. Let me sit here and treat it like, oh, it's not that deep. Well, it's whatever, brush it off. Everything is not a simple brush off, okay? Everything is not a simple out of sight, out of mind type situation. Sometimes there's really things that you have to get to the core of. There's things that you have to actually sit with your emotions about. There's things that getting over is just not going to be enough. If you get over something, that is leaving the room for it to be able to come back and hunt you again later in the future. When we get over things, we wonder why every retrograde come around and it's the same thing happening. It's the same cycle. Getting over something is not actually ending any cycles, okay? You're not actually establishing yourself as moving forward. You're not really taking the lesson for what it is, or taking the blessing for what it is. Sometimes things happen to us that we think are bad, and the whole time is really redirection, protection from Most High. And that's just the truth. So with that, like, you can't live a life constantly just saying, oh, I got over it, oh, I'm gonna get over it, oh, I'll get over this too. The same way, sometimes getting through it is not necessarily the answer to, oh, I got through it, oh, I'm getting through, oh, it was rough, but I got through it. And then you looking like, who did it and why? You look like you've been through it, and we don't want that. We don't want to look like what we're going through. We don't want to look like we're stuck in, not even stuck, but we just don't want to stay. Why am I saying grow? Okay, why am I saying grow through situations, grow out of situations, grow beyond situations? Why am I saying that? Because every situation that happens in our lives, there is a lesson to be made. There is a lesson to take. There is a lesson and there's a blessing in every single thing, whether you realize it or not. Whether it looks more like a lesson, it's still a blessing. Okay, like Like, okay, you didn't get the guy you wanted. That just means another guy is better for you and meant to love you better than what you're accepting anyway. But if you just keep dealing with, oh yeah, that's low vibrational love and breadcrumbs and just things that aren't actually like pouring into you, and people that just sucking the life out of you. When you're constantly dealing with that type of stuff, you're not growing. You're staying stagnant. When you're constantly worrying about, oh my God, he didn't text me back. Oh my God, he didn't call me. Oh, I hope he's okay. I hope he's good. Okay, I'm gonna just focus on sending some energy to him. What about your goals? What did you do for yourself before you worried about that man for 5 more hours? What did you do the 5 hours prior before you started worrying about that man for 5 hours? Okay? Like, healing is so... It's not a linear equation. It's not... I'm a math teacher, sorry. It's not a linear thing. It's never ending. There's always going to be something you need to heal from. There's always going to be things to grow through. There's always growing to be had. Just because you reach your peak does not mean you're at the highest level. Okay? There's always higher levels to always reach. Okay? And just because you low don't mean you haven't accomplished anything. Okay? Or what you consider low might be high to some other people. But we're not going to start talking about that in comparison and things of that nature. But this is about going through, getting through, and growing through. We're getting over, growing through, and growing through. Growing out of, sorry. So when we talk about, so let's just take my journey, right? That's what this is about, my journey. Was something I had to grow through. Let me think about that topic. Okay, so what I'm currently, I could talk about what I'm currently trying to grow through and figure out and understand and learn, and the energy I'm working with right now. So right now, I am focused on pouring into myself and myself only. Today I decided, I woke up yesterday and said, I deserve more. And the only way I'm going to get the more that I deserve is that I give it to myself first. I'm trying to catch myself from crying. First video can't have tears. Crazy. But, yes, so a lot of my life I have worried and put other people first. Even though I've sat with people pleasing for a long time, and it's not necessarily, I've gotten out of people pleasing, but to a certain extent I still was people pleasing to a certain extent, because I still was putting myself in situations where I wasn't being honored and I wasn't being cared for the way I needed to, but I'm still putting full effort into caring and honoring other people, right? And in a way, that's self-sabotage, because I knew better. I knew that my energy wasn't being honored and poured into the way it needed to be, so I moved on accordingly, right? Or I allowed myself to still be in said predicament, and that's not helping nothing, right? So knowing that, and I still decided to stay in said predicament because, oh, you want to believe that, you know, well, if I keep doing this and doing that, no, you shouldn't be laying traps for people to fall into just to get what you want. No. So, and I also had to realize everybody can't come with me to where the levels I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to solidify a lot of things in my career right now. As far as like my personal brand and things of that nature. Like I'm working. Y'all about to see. But it's hard for me to put myself in front of this camera and tell y'all to, or try to motivate and inspire you guys to heal if I'm not acknowledging what I need to heal in myself and acknowledging where I'm not honoring myself. I can't tell y'all to honor yourselves and I'm not honoring myself completely. That wouldn't even make sense. So, and I have been having a battle of tug and war at the heart with this situation, but that's over. That is done. I'm too great of a person to even allow my energy to be somewhere that they can't afford me. And it's okay to say people cannot afford your energy. It could be the richest person financially in the world and they still cannot afford your energy. The only currency I understand right now is love, respect, honoring. That's the only currency I accept. I don't accept hate. I don't accept breadcrumbs. I don't expect low. I don't accept low vibrational energies. Okay. So with me, I know that I have to put myself first each and every day. And even though it is hard because you have poured into somebody and you're not necessarily getting your love back, right? But I have I really mean it. It just hurts to say. But I don't regret how I loved anybody. I don't regret any of the energy I have put out into the world because I know that it wasn't in vain. I know that even though I knew better to allow my energy to stay in that place, it's still... And even though I might not get that love reciprocated back or returned to me by that person, I'm still going to get my love returned back to me some form or fashion, times 10, regardless. Because I trust the universe enough. I trust divine. I trust God. I trust source. I trust Most High. All in all, with everything in me. That even if this situation don't work out, that only means this is my protection from staying in something that's not worthy of me. And that means something that is actually worthy of me and answers all my prayers is actually on its way to me. Okay? So, also don't be afraid to cry. I'm not afraid to cry. I just trying to give y'all the video without crying. But realistically, I cry a lot. So, and this is like a current thing I'm working on, so tears are still being shed. The release is still happening. But it just gets to a point. It just gets to a point. I know exactly who I am. Why should I keep dealing with people who act like they don't know what they want? Why would I keep allowing myself to be in a situation that's never fair, that's never even, where I'm always giving more, where I'm getting disrespected, where I'm getting treated like... But here's another thing. You know what I realized? You can never expect anybody to recognize the king and queen within you if they do not even recognize the king or queen within themselves. What I was just dealing with, that man didn't see the king in himself. I was pouring in. I'm trying to get him to love himself and realize you are worthy. You do deserve a life of luxury and things of this nature. Got him elevated. But because he can't fully recognize the king in himself, he can never pour back into me the same way I poured into him. It'll never be possible. Because he don't recognize the king in him. Because he hasn't gone through and grown through the things he needs to grow through. I've been doing my healing. I use my tools. I know my tools and I use my tools. I've tried to give suggestions and tools to him. That's not my job, though. He got to figure that out for himself. But what am I doing to grow through these things instead of staying low and calling myself stupid for staying longer and getting very, very upset, like, and rageful just because I gave love that isn't being returned? I'm not doing that. I send off love. I wish him well. I am not separating myself with any ill emotions. I let go with freedom and ease. I let go with love and peace in my heart. I did what I could. I loved as much as I could. Now it's time I stop. And it's that simple. And I wish him the best. And I pray he figure it out for himself. And I pray whoever he deal with after me doesn't have the same repercussions, or doesn't have to deal with the same version of him I did. But I'm not. There's no conversation to be had either. There's none. Talking to the journal. I talk in my journals, okay? I am journaling heavy. Multiple times a day. I have a prayer journal. I have a journal. I have a poem journal. I have multiple journals for multiple reasons, okay? So, and I'm sitting with the energy. Instead of trying to avoid that's the key thing in getting over and getting through things. Are you sitting with the energy and actually getting the root to how you feel and why you feel the way you do, and how are you going to make sure you don't feel this way again, or don't give anybody else this type of power to feel this way again? That's what you really got to figure out for yourself. Okay? Important to also understand why you're choosing to want better. Because sometimes our minds, it plays tricks on us, right? But it's also, you got to listen to your body. And I don't even want to start the conversation of like emotional traumas and stress and how it really affects the bodies. I'm not even going to get into that because we know it does. And the extremes it could go to. But think about situations like this. Is that heartbreak worth your life? Is that man worth your health? Is that woman worth your health? Is that job worth your health? Nothing should cost you your health. Nothing. Nothing should cost you to be unhealthy in any form or fashion. If it costs you your health, it's not in your budget. Okay? That's like my new thing too. I've been like saying that a lot lately. In regards to things that I want to attract or things I don't want. I either can afford it or I can't afford it. It's either in my budget or it's not in my budget. It's either a currency I accept or it's a currency I don't. That's not currency. So with me, nothing costs my health. There's not. I have a whole lot of love to give, but I'm not loving you until my grave. I'm not going to love you and rush me getting put into a grave. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I have watched the years of trauma in my family cause some really graves. I have seen it. We're trying to figure out why the good die young. Or why she has so much more to do, but you remember she stayed with some nigga that her last dude wasn't good to her. Y'all, but y'all don't want to know that. Y'all want to say that at the funeral because now it's her funeral. The whole time, she would have just left dude earlier. Maybe she wouldn't have died of breast cancer. She wouldn't have had that heart attack. She wasn't over there stressing about a man. And I'm not saying it's always about a relationship that stress could be happening. If she would have just left that job 3 years ago, her heart wouldn't have been going through what it was going through. If he would have left that job 10 years ago, he would have never picked up a cigarette. And now he has lung cancer. Like just simple things. There's so many things. There's so many reasons to want better for yourself other than your health. But honestly, why would you not want to have a healthy life? A good life starts with a healthy life. I want to be healthy so I can live life. You're not healthy, you're not getting out of bed, you're not doing nothing, you're not going out to explore. You sick. And you don't want to be how people get cancer and, oh, now it's let me go do this bucket list. No, don't wait till you on your deathbed to want to live a life. And I'm not saying that to the people who are going through that right now. I'm not saying that. But you have to wake up one day and just decide enough is enough. This don't cost this much. My chest hurt every day. For what? For what? I'm going out every day worrying about somebody to get 2 minutes of attention, and okay, I'm gonna just enjoy that for the next 5 weeks that you ignore me. No, not at all. Not whatsoever. I'm at work and I'm supposed to be studying for my GACE, and I couldn't even sit in my classroom and think without making this video, because I really just need to get this energy off, and I really just needed to tell y'all, like, we have to get to a point where we decide we want to grow through things. And then growing through things means we're really not going to repeat the cycle, because I've grown through it. I know not to do this again. I know not to put myself into this predicament again. I know how to not put myself in this predicament again. I've gained tools and resources to be sure to avoid this again. This won't happen. My boundaries are firm. My boundaries are non-negotiables. What I say is what I say, and I'm not changing what I said. I'm not here. I don't want to be an influencer, even though naturally that's gonna happen. I'm here to inspire people to heal, and whatever that may be for themselves. If you notice, my name is Gypsy Lotus of Uniqueness. I've made uniqueness my superpower. Me, I don't want to be like anybody else, because being me is just exactly who I want to be and need to be. That's why I'm on my path. I only want to inspire y'all to want to wake up every day and be happy with yourself too. Don't be happy trying to be me. Don't be happy trying to be the next person. Be happy with yourself. That's what everybody on my channel, I want to learn. Okay? How are we going to heal ourselves? We're not putting the responsibility in anybody else's hand. We're not, oh my God, my mama did me dirty, so it's her job to fix our relationship. No. You have to be able to fix your relationship with your mama, with yourself, or heal yourself from the trauma your mama gave you yourself. Then honestly, when you heal and you realize your mama did her best her can, then you'll forgive her naturally. But everything starts with self right now. We cannot put the blame on anybody else, okay? And those things that you constantly, oh, I got over it, and you realize 2 months later, 3 months later, a year later, 5 years later, 20 years later, it don't matter how much time goes by. If you did not actually grow through and really get the lesson and really get what you were supposed to get out of something, that cycle is going to keep repeating itself. It's never going to change. If anything, it gets worse. And nobody wants to be in something that's getting worse every single day. Again, does it cost you your health? Is anything worth going to an early grave for? I don't know how old anybody that's following me is. I know I'm 27 years old. I don't have no kids. But when I have kids, I'm not birthing my trauma into them. I'm not. I'm making sure I'm the most healed version of myself before I even call myself mom. Or before I allow anybody to call me mom. You have to think about the life you deserve for yourself and the life you want to give your future. What is the legacy you want to leave behind? You don't want to leave a legacy of trauma. Your emotional stance in life and in the world is also a legacy. Your emotional legacy is still a thing. And a lot of people neglect that. A lot of people ignore that. But it is very much a thing. Okay? You cannot be... I think we're gonna end it. I'm starting to get into too many different conversations. So, and too many different topics. So, getting over. All I got over it is just putting something to the back of your mind. I don't want to do that. And just asking for it to be weird waking whenever chance presents itself. I don't want that. Getting through it. Getting through it is still not actually acknowledging the root of the problem. It's still leaving room for it to circle back again. You're not actually growing through, so again, you're still gonna be the same person even though you got through it. Growing through, growing out of, you leave that side behind. You have sat with it, you have cried, and it has gotten to the point. See, that's another thing. Some people mistake numbness for growth, and it's not. Just because you're numb to something does not mean you're healed. Because guess what? Guess what? Numbness wears off. Numbing cream, temporary. Numbness is a temporary thing. So getting through and getting over things are basically numbing things for a moment. Temporary numbing. Getting over is like numbing cream, right? Quick little cream. Okay, I got over it. Numbing, getting through something is like a shot, like the Novocaine shot, right? Wait, is it Novocaine? I might be wrong. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a medical person, but whatever the shot that will numb you for longer than numbing cream would. That's still temporary though. It's still, yes, it might last a little longer, but it's still a temporary fix. The only real true fix is growing through situations. You want to come out anew. You want to come out better than you went in, okay? You want to come out and know for a fact that ain't happening again. And if it happened again, it's because you went against everything you just learned. And that would have to be a you thing. And it's that simple. I'm not in the energy of getting over things anymore. I'm not in the energy of getting through things. I'm only growing. I'm only excelling. I'm only leveling up on every level I can. I'm reaching new heights. I'm coming after everything I deserve in life. And that's what I leave you with. Again, we are blooming each and every day. I hope this message sits with you well. I hope you figure out what you want to grow through. And if you don't know the steps on how you want to grow through it, stay tuned for my next video. Peace.